Hi, everybody. It's April 29, 2018. Who is having their rights stripped away faster, Americans or Brits? Man sentenced to 8 months in prison after flipping off a red light surveillance camera. No joke. 67 years of age, Timothy Hill. This happened in North Yorkshire in England. He's been put in jail for 8 months for doing what you see him doing. It's called freedom of speech. Clearly, Timothy Hill does not like the surveillance state. The North Yorkshire Police Department arrested Timothy Hill, posted on Twitter a picture or several pictures because he's been caught several times flipping the bird at the surveillance state. They posted a video of Timothy Hill flipping the bird, and they posted on Twitter a tip. If you want to stay out of trouble, don't do what this driver did and swear at our mobile safety cameras while driving past a car fitted with a laser jammer. Today, he's beginning 8 months in jail for perverting the course of justice. Really? Okay. A whole lot of Brits got upset about this, and they went to social media, Twitter, to voice how upset they were. The judge who sentenced Hill actually said Hill's actions strike at the heart of the justice system, and his sentence must act as a deterrent. So the judge is threatening Brits. Should you flip the bird at a surveillance camera, you too will be jailed for 8 months. Now, Timothy Hill is a company director. 8 months in jail, no doubt he'll lose his job. He hasn't harmed anybody, but the police state in the UK, they're sending a message to all of you. Your behavior, what you say, you don't have freedom of speech. You are not a free human being. You have to behave in accordance with those government officials, or else they could ruin your life. That is the message. The traffic constable, Andrew Forth, he also issued a statement. If you want to attract our attention, repeatedly gesturing at police camera vans with your middle finger while you're driving a distinctive car fitted with a laser jammer is an excellent way to do it. It's also an excellent way to end up in prison. As Hill's case shows, perverting the course of justice is a very serious charge which carries a custodial sentence. I can't believe what I'm reading. Now, this reaction on Twitter, okay, you expressed how you feel about it on Twitter, but what needs to be done is all Brits should go to the jailhouse and demand Hill's release. Demand his release. This man has not harmed anybody. And if you don't do that, well, expressing your outrage on Twitter will eventually get you jailed at some point, because essentially what the government here in England is saying, do not express how you feel about what we are doing. There's got to be a physical showing up. These people need to be removed from their positions. Brits need to go to the police department and demand the removal of those who arrested Hill and then tweeted threats to every one of you who live in England and the UK. Demand the removal of this Andrew Forth. Why is demanding things so hard for people? If you don't demand your right to live as a free individual, then you will have all of your rights taken away. And it could not be more obvious today that we have entered a whole new era, not just in the United States and the UK, all Western nations are turning into police states, surveillance states, tyrannies, and without the people really demanding the removal of these really deranged. I'm sorry, these people are utterly deranged. Is it that they're just, you know, sickened with power, that they want to control everybody's life? My God, government is telling you how you need to behave, even when your behavior harms nobody. Now, the other examples of this tyranny that has manifested in the UK, and other, excuse me, the other case involved the kidnapping and caging of a man for making a joke video on YouTube. His dog saluting Hitler, poking fun at his girlfriend. He harmed no one and was prosecuted for his free speech. And if I'm remembering correctly, he has recently been sentenced to jail. Another horrific case, which is very similar to so many cases here in the United States. Britain's government is forcing a couple to essentially kill their own baby. Alfie Evans, 23-year-old who has a degenerative neurological condition that the doctors in the UK say is incurable. And apparently in the UK, the government has the final say as to how the child will be treated, and a series of court rulings have ordered the hospital to take Alfie off life support. The parents are doing everything to keep Alfie alive, and in fact, a Vatican hospital has offered free medical care with some kind of treatment for Alfie, but the court has ruled in the UK, too bad you're not going. Are you, it is truly a horror show that so many people are living now. And it's not just that, but the UK government have, or the police have issued threats to people expressing their outrage on social media. Oh, did not just say that. You express your outrage on social media and you don't demand the removal of these government officials who are clearly just psychopathic, tyrannical bullies, well, then that outrage expressed on Twitter, if you don't demand the removal of these people, will get you jailed. So here in this case, with the Evans, a lot of people were expressing their outrage on social media, and the hospital and the government have gone on the offensive against anyone offering support for the Evans family. Elder Hay Hospital Chairman David Henshaw and Chief Executive Louise Shepard said in a statement that they have been victims of a barrage of highly abusive and threatening language and behavior. We have endured attacks upon our motivation, our professionalism, and our ethics. It has been a very difficult time having to carry on our usual day-to-day work in a hospital that has required a significant police presence just to keep our patients, staff, and visitors safe is completely unacceptable. Sorry for that noise. And the Merseyside Police Department issued a statement on their Facebook page saying that they will be monitoring social media for posts about the situation and will be considering legal action against people for speaking out. It could not be more obvious that our countries have turned tyrannical, and without the people rising up to stop this, then we will all live controlled by people who really need a good therapist. Police in the UK actually have the legal authority to arrest people for things that they say online, that hostile speech. And thousands of people have been arrested for Facebook posts in the UK. So in the UK, the government supersedes the rights of parents. They get to be the ultimate decision making in terms of the care of your children. This should not be happening in free countries, democracies. It happens so often here. So often that I will link below to Medical Kidnap. The stories are, well, this website alone. You could spend 24/7, probably for a month, reading the stories of parents having their children medically kidnapped by hospitals or kidnapped by CPS. Mom who lost 2.5 years of her children's lives while they were in foster care seeks attorney to fight corruption in Arizona. Young child molested by nurse in foster care, still not returned to mother in more than a year. Young child molested by nurse, okay, in more than a year. Shaken baby syndrome diagnosed, lacks scientific evidence, leads to false accusations of child abuse. Mental illness label used to medically kidnap mother and try to adopt out her children. And this woman apparently was seen by a mental hospital in Virginia, and that mental hospital said that she did not meet the criteria to commit her, but Tennessee sees otherwise. Adults are medically kidnapped as well. Florida mom seeks second opinion on dying newborn after car accident, loses custody of all 3 children, and her baby died in state care. And why aren't more foster and adoptive parents speaking out? Foster parents get paid. Refusing to vaccinate your kids is not abuse. Families protest at Kansas state capitol. Our children are not for sale. Every child that CPS, the Child Protective Services, every child that they take out of a home, they get more money. So that in itself should beg questions in everybody's minds. That CPS might really just be intentionally stealing people so that they get more and more money. South Carolina family reunited at Easter almost 3 years after child abuse doctor falsely accused mother. The articles just go on and on. There's a woman in Pennsylvania who has stood up to a bully dentist, and that dentist called CPS on her because she missed a dental appointment. North Carolina using blackmail to illegally seize children from families. Tennessee family seeks lawsuit for malpractice, negligence, and wrongful death over Down syndrome baby taken off life support. Attorney reporting in Newsweek, foster care is a system set up to sex traffic American children. An Alabama newborn baby kidnapped at hospital with no warrant, no court order, no emergency circumstances. When this happens and is allowed to happen, and I'm not saying there aren't some people who are fighting against this, we all should be fighting against this. It needs all people in your respective states and your respective countries to push back. And yes, demand. Don't ask. Demand. And this little girl, who was having 40 seizures a day, state threatens to kidnap little girl because parents cure her seizures with CBD oil. Indiana in April made CBD legal for seizures, just like this girl was having. But first, you have to go the big pharma route. Well, this little girl's 20-month-old girl, her parents found out that CBD oil was curing seizures of children and wanted to try that first. Well, the force of government came down upon them. And as well, a doctor who was upset that they were treating her with CBD oil instead of going the traditional route. How have these people been able to usurp so much power over us? Well, ultimately, these parents, CPS did threaten to take this little girl away. The parents ultimately won, their life turning into a complete nightmare, fearing every day that CPS was going to show up and take their child. But none of this should be happening. None of this should be happening. And it is happening because we have an awful lot of people who are working in positions with, well, the power that has been given to them by legislators, and that power is being used in such evil, immoral ways. And the only way to stop this is to confront those who behave in such immoral ways. Yeah, that's the bottom line. It's up to us.